All right, so I wanted to ask you two personal questions. This is what I ask again CEOs to just get a little bit of an understanding as to who they are. Um, what are you reading or listening to right now? Are you a book reader? Do you listen to podcasts? How do you engage in self-development and learning?
I'm not reading anything right now. Um, my favorite books would have been um, Tom Peters and Waltman, In Search of Excellence, which every now and again I go back and reread. It's an interesting book about how companies remain excellent over a long period of time. There is there's obviously also trying to make us a great team, and we try and keep our team um, in touch with the latest improvements in technology that's happening around the world. So we are very much involved in you know areas like the International Bridge and Toll Road Association across the world, where we continue to attend to take part in those seminars, which gives us exposure to what is potentially possible, what people are actually doing, and how we can participate in that process.
Okay, great, good stuff. In terms of as an investor, do you invest currently? And if yes, is it in the stock market? Is it in real estate? Is it maybe farming? What do you do in terms of personal investments?
So obviously, I'm a big shareholder in Transjamaica as well. Um, I used to invest in the U.S. stock exchange. Having got burned, decided to leave that alone. Um, but yes, I'm an investor in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. My largest shareholdings are in Trans Jamaica, and I expect to continue to hold shares in Trans Jamaica going forward.
Okay. So what would be a tip that you give to investors? Because we have, of course, a community of thousands of investors. What's the one thing that you think has been the key to your success as an investor?
Um, I think, as you know, the stock market is a very um, interesting concept. Um, at every at every share price, there is a buyer and a seller. So at every share price, there is somebody who believes it's worth more, and there on the contrary, there's somebody who believes it's worth less. Um, and so it's difficult to believe you're going to get rich simply by looking at how share prices move. I think it's more important for you to understand the company that you're investing in. The good thing is that in Jamaica we can have a much more hands-on understanding of a company. When you're investing in the U.S. market, you're typically reading news reports and briefings on the company. When you're in Jamaica, you can actually drive out to Portmore Causeway or drive out to P1 and actually see what is happening in the morning. And that gives you an insight into what is happening with the company. Or for any other company. If you're buying cement, you could drive out to the cement company and you could see what trucks are being loaded, how much trucks are coming out of the plant every morning. You can get a first-hand feel for these companies. So critical for me, I think, is make sure you understand the business that you're investing in. Take the opportunity because the companies are here to see them upfront. Drive out to the company, call the company, talk to the company, understand the company. Um, Once you have done that, then when you make an investment, it's easier to keep the investment when the market is going down, for example, if nothing fundamental has changed about the company. And so I'd recommend that people who invest in businesses that they understand. We think Transformaker is a simple company. You can see the traffic numbers, you can see the revenue numbers, you can see what is happening. Invest in businesses you understand, and therefore I think you'll turn out to be a lot better in the long term.
Fully agreed with you there. I think that's something that, and actually, the reason why we started our CEO series was to help persons to understand more about the leaders of the companies that they're invested in. So, even interviews like this, I think, is a great opportunity to understand, because I think you can learn a lot about where a company is headed by understanding its leader, right?
Mm,
So the CEO series for me tells me what type of leader, what's the mindset, how. The reason why I ask about the personal investment strategy, I want to see kind of the mind, get into the mindset of the CEO to see where the company is likely to head, right? Because we as an individual, you have a great influence on the direction of the company. And if you have a personal investment philosophy, there's a good chance that you'll be heading the company in a similar direction, if that makes sense.
mm.
So I do agree with you. The US market, I think it's a lot of data, right? It's a lot of
Yeah,
information. Things
yeah.
change almost daily. And so it's a lot of information to keep up with, but we have the benefit of having, I guess, a little bit of a slower paced market where we don't have an abundance of news in that way. So really, you can do quite extensive research in a very short time because of, for now, I think just limited sources of information. Of course, we're hoping that that changes over time as we, have more channels like Learn, Grow, Invest coming out. But it's, yeah, I definitely understand being burned in the US market.